Hello movie friends and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing yet another reaction to another Chucky kill count. This time it's The Bride of Chucky from 1998. So without any further delay, let's get into this. 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to The Kill Count, where we tally up the victims in all our favorite horror movies. I'm James A. Janice, and today we're looking at Bride of Chucky, released in 1998, 7 years after the previous film in the series, Child's Play 3. Bride of Chucky marks a hard turn for the series in several ways. Whereas the original trilogy consisted of horror films that steadily added more and more humor to Chucky's character, Bride of Chucky borders on full-out parody. Influenced by Scream, like so many other late 90s horror films, it's full of snappy one-liners, self-referential humor, and a metatextual awareness of the genre it belongs to. It also puts Chucky's name directly into the movie title, eschewing the Child's Play moniker to reflect the fact that Chucky is no longer an antagonist tormenting a hero we're supposed to be rooting for. He's now the main character and the star of the show. Joining him is Jennifer Tilly as his ex-lover Tiffany, and Tilly's willingness to get ridiculous in this and future sequels is the single best addition the franchise could have asked for. Despite all the added laughs, Bride also sees a huge increase in how many people get killed. Here, I'll prove it to you. Let's get to the kills.
Here we go.
The movie begins at a police department evidence depository where Scream's influence is on full effect in the way a bunch of other horror movies are acknowledged and referenced in the stuff kept in cages here. One of the lockers has an unsolved label on it, and Officer Bailey fishes out the contents of it for a shady, dirty cop deal. He calls his contact, and her voice can only mean one thing.
Hello.
That's right, it's Jennifer Tilly. And she is not a nice person in this movie, because while Bailey's waiting for the exchange to go down, he gets his head yanked back and his throat slit. Blood gushes out of his neck and his head falls backwards out of the driver's seat for our first kill only 3 minutes into the movie. And yeah, he got killed by Jennifer Tilly and her cleavage. She licks some blood off her finger and steals Bailey's personalized lighter before picking up Chucky's fucked up face and throwing some Louis Armstrong at it.
Well, hello, Dolly.
Rob Zombie's Living Dead Girl kicks in as the credits start and continues in full effect as the very meaty title card comes up. God, I love this album. Looks like Tiffany, Jennifer Tilly's character, is super obsessed with Chucky, as evidenced by all the news articles about him, which include this movie's one and only reference to former protagonist Andy Barclay. She digs into her stash of spare doll parts and starts putting Chucky back together with stitches and staples. Before long, she finishes her little Pinterest project and leans back in ecstasy, apparently sexually excited over her job well done that gives us Chucky's new look. And the look of my Chucky doll behind me. Hi, Chucky. While she's busy doing God knows what with that doll, we get to meet our human cast. They include John Ritter as hard-ass Chief of Police Warren Kincaid and his niece Jade, played by a 20-year-old Katherine Heigl. She tells him she's going to prom with this inoffensive kind of dweeby guy David, but in actuality, as soon as they get in the car, she starts making out with her real paramour, the apparently bad boy Jesse. The gay David is not impressed by their voracious hetero saliva exchange, but before he can get too grossed out, they're pulled over by a cop they refer to as Needle Nose. Wonder why they call him that. Oh, actually, yeah, that nickname makes perfect sense. He gives them a breathalyzer and Warren shows up to take Jade home. Jesse gets pissed.
You fuck. But you won't. Not Jade anyway, not anymore.
Oh shit, Warren, too bad you ain't the chief of the
Damn!
Because Jesse just got burnt. The king David suggests that Jesse just take Jade and flee the city. God, I'm already so sick of these teens and their shitty Romeo-Juliet story. Back in her trailer of Sex and Death, Tiffany puts Chucky in the middle of a pentagram and gets to work with a Voodoo for Dummies book. She goes through that incantation we all pretty much know by heart by now. Give me the power I beg of you. Yo, where them rolling clouds though? We ain't got no rolling clouds? Maybe that's why it doesn't seem to work and Chucky's still lying there like a dummy when she's done with it. Tiffany's boy toy Damien shows up, played by the late Alexis Arquette, and he tries to impress her with a Polaroid of a guy he killed. Dude just looks like mankind to me, but Tiffany recognizes that it's actually Damien in makeup. Jeez, Damien.
You never really actually killed anybody, did you?
Yeah, friggin' wuss, can't even kill anyone. You know who can though? Chucky. And it looks like the chanting actually worked after all, cause that doll be gone. Damien tries to seduce Tiffany, but she's pretty obviously not into it at all. That is until Chucky shows up and gets back to his old catchphrases.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Damien says Chucky is so 80s, the first of many Scream-like meta lines in the movie, and Tiffany tricks Damien into getting handcuffed to the bed. She does a sexy dance for him and Chucky and tells Damien that she used to be Chucky's girlfriend back before he got killed a decade prior. Chucky reveals himself to Damien in that delightful exorcist way that he seems to be so fond of, and gets straight to killing, pulling out Damien's lip ring to give us a real nice volume of blood gushing out of his lip, and then stuffing a pillow over Damien's head and sitting on it to suffocate him. Damien becomes our second kill of the movie, struck struggling while Tiffany and Chucky have their reunion before finally giving up and dying. It's a memorable death, but it makes me sad now thinking of the real-life death of Alexis Arquette. Rest in peace. Tiffany tells Chucky she's always kept the ring he left for her, but after he reveals that it wasn't meant for a proposal and in fact laughs his ass off at the very idea of marrying her, Tiffany gets real upset and tells Chucky she likes him this way.
You're just like a little baby. Is the little baby ticklish? Is he?
Can you imagine Child's Play 1 Chucky laughing while being tickled?
Right?
A long way from the grimy streets of Chicago, man. Tiffany locks Chucky in this baby crib she had made for a future little murder family and finishes off her night with a good cry sesh next to Damien's dead body. Man, at least uncuff one side of him so you can make room for yourself there, Tiff. The next morning, she comes outside and talks to Jesse, who happens to live a few trailers over. She has him help her move this trunk with Damien's body inside into the trunk of her car. She hits on Jesse, but he stays loyal to Jade and tells Tiff he's seeing someone. She laments how all the good guys are taken. A fun line since she has a good guy right inside. Just,
Right.
You know, locked up inside a baby crib. She teases Chucky by giving him a bride doll to call his own and throws rice in his face, which probably gets stuck in some of those giant face gashes. But joke's on her, because when she's taking a bubble bath and watching Bride of Frankenstein, Chucky uses the doll's wedding ring to carve his way out of the crib. He takes the doll and a knife into the bathroom and interrupts Tiffany's movie time. His first attack fails, but he recovers and knocks the TV into Tiffany's bath to electrocute her to death for our third kill of the movie. This was actually the original plan for Chucky's first ever kill in the series, Maggie back in the original film, before they changed it to her falling out the window. And on a personal note, even though we'll have Tilly's voice acting for the rest of the film, I will miss seeing her in person. Content with this kill, Chucky takes the bride doll and does a celebration incantation. It goes off without a hitch, a rarity for the Chuckmeister, and he successfully transfers Tiffany's soul into the bride doll. Chucky tells her the only way to get their souls out of the doll bodies is to retrieve an amulet called the Heart of Damballa, which is buried with Charles Lee Ray's corpse in New Jersey. Now, while Chucky's chant has always included a shout out to Damballa since the very first movie, this is definitely the first time an amulet has ever been mentioned, and he definitely wasn't actually wearing it in the first film back in 1988. But hey, you got a retcon? You got a retcon. To get to New Jersey, Tiffany calls up Jesse and offers him some cash money to drive the dolls there since they can't drive themselves, since, you know, they're dolls. Then she gives herself a hashtag doll makeover to personalize her new body and really tillify it. Way to make it your own, Tiff. Jesse swings by Jade's house on the way and tells her to run away and elope with him. Chucky conveys exactly how I feel about this plotline. That's what to do about money, but Jesse tells her he's got it all figured out.
She's paying me $500 to take a couple of dolls to a friend of hers in Jersey. Jade, there's another $500 when we get there.
Yep, $1,000. High schools need to have mandatory personal finance classes, man. While they run off to go pack Jade's stuff, her Uncle Warren breaks into Jesse's van so he can plant some kush on him. Chucky gets ready to do some stabbing, but Tiffany admonishes him for his unoriginality.
For God's sake, Chucky, drag yourself into the 90s.
They find a jar of nails and improvise a very unlikely trap, deploying the airbag to shoot a bevy of nails straight into Warren's face, knocking him down and causing him to give a little twitch. With Jesse and Jade on their way back to the van, the dolls act fast and somehow manage to stuff Warren's body into a chest and clean up the mess they made. So everything's fine and dandy as Jesse and Jade take off on their stupid high school love plan. They don't make it very far before they get a needle nose up their ass, though. He pulls them over in the middle of a teenage parking lot hangout party, possibly the worst place to do illegal drugs, you idiots. Jade ends up getting so pissed at Needle Nose that she takes a swing at him, which, like, what the fuck? Shouldn't she be in more trouble for that? Instead, he just searches their van, but before he can open the chest and find Warren's body, Chucky tosses the bag of weed down and Needle Nose finds that instead. He tells Jesse he's gonna be in big trouble, mister, and Jesse takes it out on his van. Shit! Okay, that was pretty funny. Realizing this will slow them down and screw up their plans, Chucky takes Bailey's lighter from Tiffany and crawls his creepy ass over to Officer Norton's car and creates a fuse into his gas tank with a shirt that he then lights on fire. On his way back, he drops the lighter and gets spotted by a stoner who he promptly flips off.
Rude fucking doll.
Officer Norton smells smoke, but before he can do anything about the fire he sees in his side view mirror, Chucky and Tiffany wave goodbye and he gives a hearty death yell right as his car blows the fuck up, incinerating him inside for the fourth kill of the film. Fun fact, actor Michael Lewis Johnson is now a bartender in Toronto. I found that interesting. Jesse and Jade get into accusations that they're the ones who blew up the car and they drive off, leaving a mini demolition derby in their wake. They're now full-on fugitives on the run. Okay, here's the part that really makes me not care about these characters. Both of them immediately suspect the other one did it.
I think you're fucking crazy.
If you're that quick to assume someone blew up a car in cold murder, maybe you shouldn't be planning on eloping with them. Maybe you never even loved them at all in the first place.
Exactly.
He calls them and tells them they're under suspicion for multiple murders since the cops found Bailey's lighter at the scene of the crime. And he also informs them that Warren is missing. Knowing they need to hang low for a while, they stop off in Niagara Falls and go to a chapel where they're just gonna plow ahead with that whole wedding idea anyway. While both of them go through and reluctantly say I do, Chucky fist bumps to some music on the radio, and he and Tiffany get surprised by Warren popping out of the chest because he's still alive, yo! Chucky turns to his old classic to stop Warren from escaping, stabbing him a whole bunch of times in the back with his handy-dandy knife. This finally does kill Warren Kincaid and gives us our fifth kill of the film. Jesse and Jade watch the news and see Detective Lieutenant Preston talk about how one of them might be held captive by whichever one is doing the killing, and of course, they both get suspicious of each other. Talk about a short honeymoon phase. The tension in the room turns sexual when they're interrupted by Russ and Diane, two other newlyweds who say they have the wrong room, but also seem like they'd be down for some swinging. Jade doesn't look into it. Sorry, Russ. Diane pockets Jesse's wallet, which doesn't go unnoticed by Tiffany, so a little bit later, Tiff sneaks into their room and breaks up their lovemaking and the ceiling mirror with a champagne bottle. She tosses it up and it smashes against the glass, causing mirror shards to rain down upon them, slicing them all to pieces, bursting open the waterbed in a fountain of water and blood, and causing an emotional awakening in Chucky.
I love you.
He takes the ring off Diane's severed finger and proposes to Tiffany. She accepts and gets so happy she starts crying actual tears, which prompts this little thought.
I wonder if all the plumbing works.
Dear God. But I mean, it's not like they're anatomically correct.
I am anatomically correct.
Wait,
Wait, what?
Chucky, we're not gonna have a doll sex scene, are we?
Oh
my
God.
We're gonna have a doll sex scene. At least it's in silhouette, and at least Tiffany provides some good sex ed to the viewers.
Have you got a rubber?
Look at me. I'm all rubber.
Who am I kidding? Nothing's gonna change the fact that we just watched two murderous dolls have sex with each other.
Yeah.
Chucky and Tiffany consummate their love. Jesse and Jade grow further apart. They each call David in turn, telling him that they're convinced the other one is responsible for all the murders. Ooh, but Jade doesn't want to go the police because she still loves him. Holy shit, fuck this storyline. At least this movie gives us some Kathy Najima as the hotel maid who discovers the massacred bodies of Russ and Diane. She's always fun. Jade and Jesse make a getaway, but not before David pops in to lecture them about how they're both crazy for thinking the other is a killer. He successfully talks them into loving each other again, so like, thanks for prolonging this bullshit, David. And then he notices blood coming out of the chest in the back. He opens it to find Warren's body, freaking out, but not too much to grab Warren's gun. He holds the lovers up and makes them pull over, showing them Warren's body, which makes them immediately turn on each other again.
I didn't do it, she did.
God, just kill each other and get it over.
Right?
Instead, Chucky and Tiffany finally reveal themselves to the kids, freaking out David so much that he leaps out in front of a truck. His body splatters all to pieces when he gets hit by it, giving us a semi-accidental, semi-murder, semi-truck kill for our 8th of the film.
Damn.
Man, that truck driver's insurance rates are probably fucked. Chucky and Tiffany explain the whole situation to Jesse and Jade, dropping in another super meta line while they do.
It's a long story. In fact, if it was a movie, it would take 3 or 4 sequels just to do it justice.
To be more inconspicuous, they steal an RV, apparently killing this elderly couple to do so. An off-screen twofer, you don't see that happen very often. And because everything in this movie is played for laughs, we're supposed to just brush aside that this poor innocent elderly couple was terrified and murdered by a couple of possessed dolls. Tiffany gets Jade ready to be her body and starts playing the housewife, but Jesse and Jade manage to turn the dolls against each other by starting a domestic argument about dirty dishes.
Those dishes aren't gonna wash themselves, you know.
Yep, they get real pissed at each other over some dishes. Their argument goes on so long that Jade's able to kick Tiffany into the oven and Jesse's able to palm Chucky straight out the window, dodging his gunshot in the process, but still crashing his RV off the road because of it. Tiffany escapes the oven and attacks Jade, but Jesse tosses Tiffany away and ushers Jade out of the RV. Then sparks or gas or something cause a fire that ends up blowing the RV to pieces, because you might as well have a big explosion in this movie too. Chucky forces Jade to take him to the cemetery so he can get the amulet from his grave, and once they get there, he shoots the gravedigger in the head just off screen for another kill. The gravedigger was exhuming his body because the police found Charles Lee Ray's fingerprints at a crime scene or something. I don't know, guys, I kind of lost the plot.
Yeah.
The two dolls fucking. Jade opens Ray's coffin and retrieves the amulet, tossing it up to Chucky. Then Jesse shows up with a gun to Tiffany. The boys do a prisoner exchange, which we just saw in Child's Play 3, but whatever. Chucky trades Jade for Tiffany, who laments that she doesn't have a real good guy to herself. Then Chucky throws his knife into Jesse's back. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. And then Jade gives the knife back to Chucky? Why? What did that even happen? What? This movie has really lost me, guys. Chucky ties the two teens up. Oh, I guess the knife toss was to stop them from getting away, and then starts up his chant again. Guys, I'm starting to think Chucky has a real incantation infatuation. Before he can finalize the process, Tiffany comes up and gives him a kiss with her charred lips, then literally stabs him in the back because she thinks they both deserve to be together in hell. The two of them have a good old-fashioned shovel fight, which someone definitely needs to edit with Duel of the Fates underneath, until Chucky's able to get the upper hand by impaling Tiffany with his knife. But then Jesse whacks him with his shovel straight into his open grave right as Lieutenant Preston shows up and holds Jesse and Jade at gunpoint. He sees Chucky run around, which, you know, it's gotta be pretty weird for him. And then Jade takes Preston's gun and shoots Chucky a bunch of times, apparently killing him in the lamest death that Chucky has ever faced in this entire series. I guess there's only so many times you can be thrown into a giant fan or get your melted head blown up. Preston sends the kids
or
off
thrown into a giant van.
While he calls in some
fan.
reinforcements. He checks out the rest of the place and finds Tiffany's burnt body. And while he's getting a closer look, she wakes back up, screaming in pain because guess what? She's having a baby! Preston's face gets covered in birth blood, and during the delivery, Tiffany dies. Real bummer to go out like that. Wonder if it would have happened had she not been burnt alive an hour earlier. Tiffany may die, but her little demon hellspawn survives, and it leaps straight into action, pouncing on Preston's face. Since the screen cuts to black, I'm just gonna assume this little abomination gnawed Preston to death and consider him the 14th and final kill of the film. After that, the credits roll, so this weird-ass movie is finally over. Could it back up its deep dive into humor and meta references and a decent-sized body count? Let's find out and get to the
I don't know.
Yeah, get to the numbers. I'll see you at the numbers.
The numbers.
More than doubling the body count of the original movie, Bride
Yeah.
of Chucky features 14 kills. Of the victims, 10 were male, while only 4 were female, a more than 2-to-1 gender imbalance. With a runtime of 88 minutes, that comes out to a kill, on average, every 6.29 minutes, the most frequent in the series so far. Golden Chainsaw for coolest kill has a couple of options, but I'll give it to Chief Warren Kincaid. The nails in his face are a nice little homage to Pinhead, and then he kept kicking, which gave us a fun montage cutting back and forth between his ultimate murder and the marriage between the lovebirds that murdered my enjoyment of this movie. Gold Machete for lamest kill will go to the elderly couple killed off screen. It's nothing more than a throwaway gag, and it's actually one that kind of bums me out. I bet they were nice. And that's it. Bride of Chucky changed the Chucky franchise forever, because it's kind of hard to come back from an extended scene featuring dolls having sex. Instead of altering course, Don Mancini actually doubled down on the ridiculousness with the next entry, Seed of Chucky. I'll cover that hot mess next week, but until then, I'm James A. Janice. This has been The Kill Count. Hey guys, thanks a lot for watching The Kill Count.
Anyway, again, if you guys like this kind of content, go ahead, leave a like. And if you're new, don't be afraid. Hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell notification button either, because whenever Jordan and I upload, you'll know. And also, I'll catch you guys in the next one, so don't forget to keep it retro. Bye! Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we're going to be doing a, a reaction. Oh, God, I can't hear myself. Today we're going to be doing a reaction to, Perfect. Okay, cool. I just wanted to make sure that my mic was, like, not flubbing up as usual. Scoot that. I'm sorry about that. I'm terrible at this. Anyway. Crap. I really haven't done this in a while. Oh my gosh, my camera's terrible. I'm sorry, guys. Okay, I think we're better now. Jordan's gonna, like, flay me for this.